with the containers with all the spare parts in.
Yeah.
After 30 years, that's amazing. So, no, I don't see 12 metres coming in here.
Yeah, there's 12-meter charters out of Newport, and they allow you to sail on Heritage as well as Columbia, and I've been able to sail on them, and I don't know if you could ever beat races in those boats or sailing on those boats. They're just beautiful.
I've sailed on Australia too, not in a very important position. I was on the runners.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Because she was held up here at the museum, and then she came out for an anniversary.
That was the biggest nightmare of my life. As I was involved with a number of others to put together the proposal to take it out of the museum and take it over to Cowes for that event. That picture depicts it there. That was presented to us by the Royal Yacht Squadron from that event. But the museum, the government, treated the boat as if it was an artefact.
Wow.
Every square millimetre or inch was photographed. Every scratch was noted. We had to take the winches off, replace them with other ones. And we said, look, if we dent the thing, it's made of tin and bog. We can fix it.
Yeah.
We'll make it look good again. The contract, I've still got it, it's about that thick to get it off there. And we sent it over with the original tender that went over to the States. Twice or three times she shipped over Black Swan.
Okay.
Which is still here. So we sent Australia 2 and Black Swan, we shipped them both over to Cowes for that event.
Wow.
And she was, what was she awarded? The belle of the event, or belle of the regatta or something? Because every day we put speakers under the back deck and it played Men at Work, Men from the Land Down Under, our theme song, blasted out at God knows how many watts every day it went out sailing.
Yeah, I learned that song was the anthem for the team, as well as I had never known this as an American, that the Fighting Kangaroo came from that.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
Yeah. See, I actually learned something.
Yeah, and John Longley was involved in it.
Yes, and I hope to connect with John before
he was in a bar in Newport, working that up.
Really?
Yeah.
Fighting Kangaroo.
Yeah.
And look for my conversation with John Longley, who I look forward to catching up with in just a few short days. I just wanted to jump in here and let you know that I will be chatting with John Longley and look forward to, of course, he was on Australia too. He's also, in other Australian Newport news with the possible finding of the Endeavour, Lord Sandwich off the harbour of Newport. He also was a big part of putting together a committee and creating a replica of the Endeavour here in Australia. So I'll also ask him about the Fighting Kangaroo, so look forward to having that chat. Now here, back more with Stuart Walton.
I was on the runners.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Because she was held up here at the museum, and then she came out for an anniversary?
That was the biggest nightmare of my life. As I was involved with a number of others to put together the proposal to take it out of the museum and take it over to Cowes for that event. That picture depicts it there. That was presented to us by the Royal Yacht Squadron from that event. But the museum, the government, treated the boat as if it was an artefact.
Wow.
Every square millimetre or inch was photographed. Every scratch was noted. We had to take the winches off, replace them with other ones. And we said, look, if we dent the thing, it's made of tin and bog. We can fix it.
Yeah.
We'll make it look good again. The contract, I've still got it, it's about that thick to get it off there. And we sent it over with the original tender that went over to the States. Twice or three times she shipped over Black Swan.
Okay.
Which is still here. So we sent Australia 2 and Black Swan, we shipped them both over to Cowes for that event.
Wow.
And she was, what was she awarded? The belle of the event, or belle of the regatta or something? Because every day we put speakers under the back deck and it played Men at Work, Men from the Land Down Under, our theme song, blasted out at God knows how many watts every day it went out sailing.
Yeah, I learned that song was the anthem for the team, as well as I had never known this as an American, that the Fighting Kangaroo came from that.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
Yeah, see, I actually learned something.
Yeah, and John Longley was involved in it.
Yes, and I hope to connect with John before
he was in a bar in Newport, working that up.
Really?
Yeah.
Fighting Kangaroo.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's famous.
It's iconic.
It is totally iconic.
I know of it. I've never been to Australia in my life until now, and I've known that. I thought that was around forever.
Yeah, I have two flags of it in my cupboard behind you, because we fly them at certain times.
That's quite wild.
Yeah.
So now she's in the museum for the rest of her life.
She won't come out now.
Yeah, she's permanently in there.
Yeah, I mean, we're very proud because we've got another famous yacht from here in there, which you would have seen almost opposite. Harry Endeavour.
Yes.
John Sanders. He'll be up in the bar now getting drunk, because he is most days.
Yeah.
He's just done, he finished about 9 months ago, his 10th solo circumnavigation of the world.
Wow.
And I'm meeting with him, funnily enough, next week. We're formalising his 11th lap, and he'll be 80 while he's at sea on this one.
That is remarkable.
Well, his boat was there this morning. Oh, it still is. You can see there's a yacht out there with a black mast with a yellow reflective tape going up the mast.
Yep.
That's the boat.
Wow.
It's an SNS 39. Done a few laps around the planet. He's an amazing man.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. But
that is quite the story.
Harry Endeavour that you saw in the museum, he never technically owned that. It was sponsored, because that's 46 or 47 feet from memory. That's the one he did the triple circumnavigation non-stop. And behind you on the wall is a koala bear. That's just done a lap around the world, strapped to the backstay of that yacht.
Really?
For the 10th circumnavigation as the mascot.
I was looking on your website, which details the history very well, but a lot of successful sailors have come out of this club. A lot of people, like me, probably only know of Royal Perth Yacht Club because of the America's Cup. But
that's true.
Before then and since then, you put out some of the best sailors in the world.
We've had a lot of Olympians, gold medal winners. There's two of our famous girls there on that one. Very young they were, and they picked up Olympic gold. But yes, we have. You're quite right. In whether it's in Admiral's Cups, Fastnet races, America's Cup, obviously. But in terms of world champions, and if you actually look at I shouldn't say this because you're American.
It's okay.
If you look at the crew list on some of, dare I say, your more recent attempts at the America's Cup, there aren't too many Americans on board.
That drives me wild.
Yes, I'm sure it does.
But it should drive every country a little wild. You know,
agree. I think it should be a requirement.
It should be. You should have to be a citizen of the.
Correct.
Like the Olympics.
And it was in the case, another one of our well-known members who skippered the Japanese pitch of the America's Cup a few years ago, he had to become a Japanese citizen to do it. Which is right.
Yeah.
So he should. He's representing their company.
You have to do it for the Olympics. And meanwhile, Volvo Ocean Race, or the Ocean Race it's called now, or America's Cup, or a lot of these other ones, they just do all-star teams.
Correct. But and that's my point, coming back to your earlier question, it's things like that and things like the technology that's going into these new boats that to me takes the sportsmanship out of the America's Cup. Do you know what a ferrocement yacht is?
I'm not going to say yes.
They were built, the Kiwis actually invented them. People who couldn't afford a boat, they formed up a hull with chicken wire.
Okay.
And then splattered concrete on it. So it's a concrete hull.
All right.
With chicken wire as the reinforcing. Horrible things, they break, but they're cheap. Amateur built, no professional built. You could race the America's Cup in those things if they were all exactly the same.
Yeah.
Back to that point I made, the skill of the crew. You don't have to have a cast of thousands. That's my view.
Yeah.
Yes, these new ones, I mean, when they learned at the last event to eventually tack while still on their foils, to me that was just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
As a sailor most of my life, I just can't visualise that.
Do you think
now they're doing it in a sonic monohull?
Yeah. Do you think they've lost most sailors, most lifelong? Yeah. It's not even the same sport.
Well, they're not sailors, they're athletes.
Yeah.
By definition. I mean, look at the Kiwis with their bloody bicycles.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't quite like that, but
they're not sitting up at the bar.
A load of push bikes strapped down the side deck. They were there because they were physically trained as cyclists, strength in the legs and so on, so they could apply the power to the winches. Is that really sailing? Not sure. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
Must be tough to have the most proud accomplishment. There's so many of them as a yacht club. Just it's not fair. Just looking through your website of the gentleman that sailed around the world by himself, and the females behind me who have won what's that, gold in
Olympic gold,
Beijing in 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, how does America's Cup, the 83, 87, still play such a huge role in it, or is it kind of?
I think in some ways, I and some of us here feel guilty, if I can use the word, milking the America's Cup history, because you think, or I do, no one wants to hear about that.
Yeah.
It's years ago. Who cares anymore? We can't keep. But it's that people keep coming to us with it, not the other way around.
Yeah.
We don't force feed people, new members. We don't bash the America's Cup round their ears. We don't want them to join this club because of its past. We want them to join this club because of its present and its future. But of course, they'll want to know about it.
Yeah.
It's odd.
I think anybody in, New England, Rhode Island, Newport, Western Australia, they've seen what it was like while it was there, what happened when it lost, when it was built up, and it's a lot more than just a race. A lot of it created a lot of economic stability, and then when you lost it, I'm sure it happened in Fremantle, in Perth here, is all of a sudden everybody's grasping for air and dollars and trying to repurpose everything.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people made a lot of money out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost a lot of money too.
Yeah.
But you always get that in those sort of things. But yeah, it was a great time in history, and it's something we should always be proud of. It's sad that as the crew are aging, as you rightly point out, they're going to start leaving this planet.
And it's important, the America's Cup sailors, some of the sailors that have accomplished the Olympics, and all the people that have competed, whether for our city, country, state, whatever it may be, to follow up with them down the line. And they might remember it differently as the years go on, or they might remember...
Because the old rose-coloured glasses syndrome kicks in. But I mean, we're going over shortly. Not me, but some of the boys. We still send a team over to the Santa Monica Cup here in the States. There's another one out of New York we're sending a team to. I can't remember what that one's called now. We regularly send them to the Cumberland Cup in London. We send teams, and we don't pay exclusively or totally. We provide them with a grant.
Yeah.
But some of the guys who are doing it are guys my age.
Yeah.
In the 60s. And they're still travelling around the world, sailing in teams racing events, because they enjoy it.
It's
I think that's
lifelong.
Great. Well, we argue that you can sail from 8 to 80, and there aren't many sports you can actually do that.
No, not at all. And you can do it professionally, semi-professionally, whatever you want.
I've got a guy, actually he didn't sail yesterday, don't know why. He's 91, sails every Wednesday out of here.
Wow.
No problem. He's a bit slow when you see him walk down the jet. He doesn't exactly
but he loves
sprint
it.
Down.
Yeah.
But he loves it. It's his life. If he stopped sailing, it'd be a bit like taking a driving licence.
Yeah.
Off an elderly person, they'd see that as, this is the start of the end.
Yeah.
No, I think it's very important.
Have you had a chance to come to Newport at all?
Yes. Yeah, in fact, a couple of times. Skip, I think he was there. I think No, the year before.